Morning, I'm Kevin Hollins with WestJet, and we're in the 737 6, 800 simulator, and we're set up just outside of Kelowna to plan for an RMP approach, or required navigation performance, for runway 34. And RMP has the advantage of giving us the ability to fly radius to affix arcs that allow us to facilitate a descent in and around mountains into a landing that would normally be accomplished by a circling approach. Okay, Dave, see if you want to. So where we are now is we're just coming up on a waypoint that's included in our RMP approach plate, and it begins the approach into runway 34. And as you can see from the primary flight displays and navigation displays, using the train mapping, you see it's a very smooth transition into the approach. As you can see now, we've started the approach into Kelowna. Path deviation indicator here is showing us we're about 30 feet high and correcting nicely for the descent. On the right hand side and below the PFD, we have called the navigation performance indicators, and the white band basically indicates our maneuverability area, and of course the magenta indicates our position relative to the slope. Start to slow the aircraft down now to basically match the speed that's on the FMC. Selecting flaps. Increasing the drag slightly, as we're slightly, as you can see, we're on our lateral and our vertical path, but running just slightly high in energy. The flaps will increase the drag and start bringing the aircraft back into the profile. Select the gear down. Select flaps 15 now. And as you can see, the aircraft is flying on its vertical path, its lateral path, and is following a track to the runway. Runway 34 is effectively on the right-hand side of the navigation display. Final approach fix is denoted as the LW592. And as you can see, that the airspeed is now being controlled by the flight management computer. We have to match effectively our flap setting and our with the speed that's appropriate for the particular fix. Our minimum speed for the approach would be denoted by the REF on the airspeed tape. Showing right now 1.1 mile away from the final, or from the LW596 fix. The aircraft's planing across that at 4,600 feet. Now we're going to go to our final landing flap position, which is flap 30. and you'll see the magenta airspeed pointer start to adjust for the final approach. It is now starting to follow the radius to a fix that will align us with the runway. Still maintaining a vertical path and maintaining a lateral path. Match the heading bug. To the next track. The aircraft is now descending through 3,200 feet, which is on the radar altimeter 1,800 feet above the field elevation. Through 1,000 feet here, we'll set our next altitude, next approach altitude. You can see the aircraft is now turning to align itself with the runway. We're just going through 780 feet above the runway. Aircraft's on speed, it's on lateral path, it's on its vertical path, and you can see we're pretty much on an ILS approach now to runway 34. Autopilot's now going to be disengaged. Autopilots are now disengaged.
50, 30, 20, 10.
And there's 60 knots coming out of the reversers. Engaging the auto brakes. Coming to a complete stop. And that's an RMP approach to runway 34, Kelowna. This is an autoland approach into Vancouver, runway 08 left. The aircraft is certified to Category 3A limits, which gives us decision altitude of 50 feet and minimum RVR for landing 600 feet. Current visibility selected to minimum, and the aircraft will be allowed to land via the autopilot.
Lap 40. Complete landing checklist.
Flaps.
40. Green light.
Landing checklist is complete. 600 above.
Check outside.
100,
Decide.
50,
Landing.
30, 20, 10,
– 60 knots. Auto brakes disarmed. Okay, this is we're on the button of runway 08 left in Vancouver, and visibility is set to clear, so you get a bit of a outside visual cue as to what we're going to do. The aircraft is going to experience a severe engine damage as we hit our decision speed, or V1 speed, and we'll fly away on the remaining engine and accomplish the procedures as necessary.
WestJet 600, clear for takeoff from wing 08 left.
Clear for takeoff, 08 left, WestJet 600.
Set thrust.
Knots. Check. V1.
V1,
Engine fill. Rotate. Fast brake. You're up. Heading select.
What's the problem?
Severe engine damage number 1.
Check. Advise ATC, good emergency. Right turn heading 150 without.
Now it's WestJet 700 declaring emergency off runway 8 left. We've had the engine failure request immediate recovery.
WestJet 700, standby, turn right heading at 150 degrees, climb to 3,000 feet.
Check 150, 3,000 feet, WestJet 700.
Set plug up.
Plug up. Thumbs up, no lights.
And QRC for severe damage, or engine fire. QRC.
Fire, severe damage, QRC. Bottom throttle, disengaged. Disengaged. Thrust lever, confirm close. Confirm the number 1 thrust lever.
Confirmed.
Close. Start lever. Confirm cutoff. Confirm the number 1 start lever. Confirm. Cutoff. Engine fire warning switch. Confirm and pull. Confirm the number 1 engine fire warning switch. Confirm. Pull. Engine fire warning switch. Overheat light is on. Engine fire warning switch. Rotate left or right. Rotating left. Rotate to the stop. Hold for 1 second. Engine fire warning light remains on for more than 30 seconds. Time has started. Engine fire warning switch. Rotate to the remaining bomb.
WestJet 700, left turn, heading out 200 degrees.
Left turn 200 degrees, WestJet 700. stop hold for 1 second. Engine fire warning switch light remains illuminated. Landed near Simple Airport. Reference item section 9, page 8. Next fire warning. Fire is out.
Heading now 330 degrees.
330 degrees, WestJet 700. Right turn, left turn. That's a left turn for 330?
Continue the left turn 330.
Understood, left turn 330, WestJet 700.
So that was the engine failure.
You can see here on the navigation display we have a TCAS target that's shown up. It's showing 500 feet above the current aircraft altitudes of 10,000 feet. Let's reduce the scale.
Traffic.
So traffic advisory is now turned to amber. If the aircraft reaches a certain proximity to our aircraft, the
Descend.
now on the PFD is illuminated a red box. It's a no-fly zone, so the aircraft is basically maneuvered to stay out of the red box.
Vertical speed. Adjust.
It's now opening up the red no-fly zone
Clear of conflict.
and advising us we're clear of the traffic. WestJet 700 is returning to 10,000 feet, deviated for radar or a resolution advisory.
WestJet 700, check traffic descended without clearance. Continue as clear.
So that was a TCAS RA, proximate traffic that came head on, busted its altitude, and the onboard traffic collision avoidance system advised us of the correct course of action. The aircraft, the opposite direction aircraft, would have received similar information telling it to climb. So in this particular situation, we now have two pieces of traffic that the computer is tracking, the TCAS computer is tracking. One's 500 feet above us, one's 700 feet below us.
Descend. Adjust vertical speed. Adjust vertical speed.
You can see we have two no-fly windows now, both top and bottom. It's telling us to go between.
Adjust vertical speed. Adjust.
One traffic's just gone overhead, and one's just going below.
Clear of conflict.
WestJet 700 returning to 10,000 feet, deviated for an RA.
WestJet 700, check. We're tracking the traffic. Standby.
That was a TCAS RA, but with two pieces of traffic. One piece of traffic below us, one piece of traffic above us. and the computer decided on the correct course of action and gave us a window to fly through, which took us between the traffic. What we're going to demonstrate next is we've just positioned the flight simulator just to the north of Vancouver. Terrain rises rapidly, as you can see outside the window. And if you look at the navigation display for the NG aircraft, it's now mapping terrain, so you can see the dark spots would be reflective of the actual channels and the ocean itself. Green, then you see the yellow, then you see the red. The red's the threat, the yellow is effectively the caution. So as we proceed closer to the terrain, the aircraft will actually give us a couple of warnings, or cautions, and then a warning of which we have to react to. Whenever you're ready, Dave.
Caution, terrain. Caution, terrain. Caution, terrain. Caution, terrain.
So as you see, we're maintaining 3,000 feet, and the caution area is now illuminated in
Caution, terrain.
an amber
Caution,
block.
terrain.
And if you look outside the simulator, you can see we're proceeding directly
Caution,
for a
terrain,
very
terrain,
significant
terrain.
train.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Thrust.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Okay, radar altimeter has disappeared, climbing. Clear of terrain. Okay, effectively what happened, the aircraft flew into higher terrain. The first warning, of course, or first indication, oral command from the aircraft was a caution. Effectively at that point in time you would be consulting with ATC as necessary and your approach chart. If we failed to react to that, as you saw, the aircraft went into the GPWS warning and commanded us to pull up, which Dave executed, and we were clear of terrain. Actually still heading into higher terrain, but we're currently above the terrain that was considered a threat. So what we're going to do here is the simulator is set up for an approach to runway 08 left in Vancouver, and there's several wind shear models in the simulator database. Dave has selected one of the more aggressive wind shear models, so it's going to give us a headwind switching rapidly to a tailwind. And the aircraft's equipped with basically a wind shear head or wind shear warning system that can trigger when it detects various conditions affecting the performance of the aircraft. That's it.
1,000 feet.
Check, fitness approach altitude.
3,000 feet set. 500 feet.
Check.
Check speed decrease.
Okay, go around.
Sink rate. Wind shear. Wind shear.
Max thrust.
Wind shear. Sink rate. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear.
Through 500 feet.
Check.
Through 1,000 feet.
Check. Okay, flaps 15.
Pause the brake.
Gear up. Set bug up. Flaps 5. Flaps 1. High thrust. Flaps up.
Vancouver, it's WestJet 700 in the missed approach, level 3000, runway heading. Roger.
And V. And all throttles earned. That's a bit of a rush. So that was a wind shear at 300 feet with a headwind suddenly degreasing to a tailwind. Loss of airspeed, the aircraft started to sink, the wind shear, GPWS cut in, and we executed a missed approach.
Just for fun, let's do the one at takeoff.
Wait.
Is that Press set. 80 knots. Check. 81.
V1.
Rotate. Pause brake. Here.
Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear.
Climbing 1,800 feet a minute. Speed's good. Through 500 feet. Check. Through 1,000 feet. Back up. Vancouver, it's WestJet 700. We experienced wind shear departure there.
700 check.
That was it. That's the best you can do, Dave.
That was a
I thought that was supposed to
wind
be
shear
hard.
on takeoff with a severe tailwind at 50 feet, and we executed the wind shear maneuver and carried out with the normal climb. This is a takeoff at low visibility, and the engine failure will occur prior to rotation.
Man, this thing takes its time. Motion on. Finally.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. You're released.
Set thrust.
Thrust set.
Check.
V1.
ATC WestJet What's the problem?
Engine fire number 2.
Engine fire QRC. Flight attendants, passengers, please remain seated. Stand by.
Engine fire QRC, all throttle, engage, disengage, thrust lever, confirm close, close. Start lever, confirm cutoff. Cutoff, engine fire warning switch, confirm pull. Pull. Engine fire warning light is on. Engine fire warning switch, rotate left or right. Rotate to stop, hold for 1 second. Engine fire warning switch, overheat light remains illuminated. Land near suitable airport.
Kevin, ATC says that we are on fire. Let's do the evacuation QRC.
Evacuation QRC. ATC WestJet 700 is evacuating the aircraft. ATC advised.
Advised.
Parking brake set.
Park brake set.
Speed brakes down D10.
Now D10.
Flap lever 40.
40.
Start levers cut off.
Cut off.
Pressurization mode, selector manual easy.
Manual.
Pressurization mode, pressurization outflow valve open.
Open.
Evacuation initiate.
Evacuate, evacuate, evacuate.
Engine and APU warning switches override and pull. If an engine or APU fire light is illuminated, related fire switch rotate and hold. Rotate to stop and hold for 1 second.
Hold and rotate it.
A checklist is complete.
National Information Delta, weather at 1800 Zulu, wind 320 at 10, visibility 20, light rain showers, few clouds at 1,600. French frequency is 119A.
Squawk King 2171 off of runway 28, WestJet 167.
Thanks, what's your gate?
We're at 40.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, welcome aboard WestJet Flight 167 going to from Calgary to Vancouver. We're on a brand new Boeing 737-600 series, aircraft 603 here at WestJet. We're just going to be taking off Calgary here in a few moments and flying off to Vancouver. My name is Robin Murray, I'm your captain today, and this is my first officer, Sheila.
Welcome on board.
Okay, in the event of an engine failure or fire, in the event of a rejected takeoff, I'll call reject, close thrust levers, disengage the auto throttle, apply maximum braking, apply the speed brake and reverse thrust, and stop the aircraft. Once the aircraft is stopped, I'll set the park brake, slow the speed brake, command the applicable checklist, and advise the flight attendants and passengers.
I'll monitor speed brake, reverse thrust, and auto brake operation. Advise ATC, call 60 knots, and stand by to initiate checklist as commanded.
Okay, in the event of an engine failure or fire after V1, I'll continue to take off, rotate normally at VR.
I'll call positive rate.
I'll call gear up, climb to flap retraction altitude, call for the engine fire, severe damage or separation QRC at safe altitude, call bug up, retract flaps on schedule, call for maximum continuous thrust, call level change, climb at VM to 1,500 feet, and I'll call for the QRC reference items or the engine failure shutdown checklist. And it's going to be the Stampede 1 departure off runway 28 Calgary. Off runway 28 says climb on the localizer 283 for vectors, no turns below 6,500 feet, maintain 7,000 feet. Noise abatement, it'll be VNAP Bravo today, and also it says climb on low 283 to 6,500 before proceeding on course. If you have an engine failure after departure, we'll climb to 1,000 feet, right turn to heading at 310, accelerate retract flaps there, and come back land 28. Any questions?
No questions.
Okay, let's do the before start checklist to go, please.
Flight deck preparation.
Completed.
Logbook gear pins.
On board.
Oxygen interphone.
Checked.
Checked. Yaw damper.
On.
IR selectors.
Nav
Fuel.
of 18.2, clear with 18,000, 4 pumps on.
Galley power.
On.
Emergency exit light.
Armed.
Passenger sign.
On.
Window heat.
On.
Hydraulics.
Normal.
Air conditioning pressurization.
No packs. Engine bleeds on. Set.
Autopilots.
Disengaged.
Instruments.
No faults. FMA blank. AFDS flight director. Altimeter 2977 indicating 3550. Map 10 set.
Auto brake.
RTO.
Speed brake.
Down D10.
Parking brake.
Set.
Stabilizer trim cutout switches.
Normal.
Wheel well fire warning.
Checked.
Radios transponder radar.
Set.
Rudder and aileron trim.
3 and 0.
Departure briefing.
Complete.
4-star checklist complete to the line.
Okay, thanks. We just completed our cockpit setup here, and we're just waiting for our ACARS numbers to come in, and we'll set our thrusts and V-speeds, and then once the guys are finished down below, we'll be pushing back for takeoff off runway 28 today in Calgary. I'll get you to confirm the ACARS takeoff data.
Flight number 167, release 1, weight and balance 1. Time is good. Calm winds, 15 degrees, QNH of 2977. 112 passengers, we'd plan for 107. Zero fuel weight's 1083. We'd plan for 1074. So that's within our limits. Fuel on board's 18.2. We'd plan for 18.0. And our takeoff weight is 126.1. Our planned takeoff weight was 125.0. You can load that.
Okay, confirm the perfect net, zero fuel weight 108.3, fuel is 18.2, gross weight 126.5.
Execute. The remarks are landing weight within 1,500 pounds of max structural and wet runway.
Okay, confirm the ACARS takeoff, ref up, link off runway 28 from Foxtrot, flap 1, V1 121, VR 128, V2 133, gross weight of 126.5.
I've got a V1 of 119 on my side.
Okay, that works.
Check. You can accept that.
Okay, Sheila, staff trim is 5.16 units, V2 is 133, TMD is GTO1 plus 37 degrees, blazer on. Okay, Sheila, let's do the before start checklist below the line. Okay, we'll be right with you. We're just going to do a checklist on the air here, and then we'll be right with you.
Documents?
Not hearing you. To go to...
Documents?
On board.
FMC CDU?
Set and verified.
N1 airspeed bugs.
Set.
Set. Doors, windows.
Close and lock.
Air conditioning packs.
Off.
Anti-collision light.
On.
Before start checklist complete.
Okay, thanks.
That's correct, then just go on your push where you're going to do it now. Now we'll push. Upstairs is intercepted.
Jet 167.
Mission 167, push to start, your discretion, no traffic.
Our discussion
guys all
was
set?
Jet 167.
Yeah, bypass.
April Jet 157, taxi,
Okay, pumps are off.
push back 1.
Bridges released. Clear to push your discretion. My traffic. Benches up on the push, please.
I'll let you know on the engines and commence pushback.
Okay, thanks.
Clear start 2 at your discretion.
Okay, here we go. And start number 2, please.
Oil pressure.
Okay, here we go.
N1. Starter cutout. Stable on number 2.
Okay, and start number 1, please.
Your pushback is complete. Waiting for brake set.
If the part brake set, you can disconnect the tow bar and advise.
Oil pressure. N1.
Alright, bypass gauge is removed. You can tell by just being here. Hand signals.
Okay, pull a headset, go to hand signals, thanks for the push. I'll see you guys. Have a good day.
Have a great flight, guys.
Thanks.
56%. Starter cutout. Stable on number 1.
Station 17.3 IFR Medicine Hat with Delta.
Station 7243 is good to the hat, 29 flight plan off runway 34. Squawk is 4651, departure frequency
After
119.
start checklist.
4651 off 34, we can accept Charlie 1.
Electrical.
17.3.
Generators on.
Check Charlie 1, thanks,
Hydraulics.
feedback.
Normal.
Propane.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Air conditioning pressurization.
Packs on. Engine bleeds on.
EPU.
Off.
Start levers.
Auto lead down.
After start checklist complete.
Mission for Charlie 8, if you can do that, ground 121.
Okay, we're going Charlie 8, we'll switch ground to 47. Okay, we're going jet 157 taxi.
Mission 157, you discretion to Charlie 8 as well when you're able, and ground 121.
157.
Frequent WestJet 167 taxi.
Mission 167, the company will be moved momentarily, you discretion to Charlie 8 when you're able, and ground 121.
Charlie 8, WestJet 167. Charlie 8.
And 1153, you
Get you
discretion
put
to
our box
Charlie 8.
in leg space for the commercial.
Confirmed direct Arbuck.
Execute.
And April WestJet 704, request X.
So 600.
4 company will be moved momentarily, you discretion to Charlie 8, ground 121.
It's getting to be more. My last variant was the
Charlie 8,
600.
WestJet 704.
Good shot, actually, of all of us.
Yeah.
So you can't hear me if I hit intercom.
April is WestJet 821, return. WestJet 821, thanks, over to Charlie 8, ground 129, hold.
When I'm transmitting an
Charlie 8,
intercom.
local WestJet 821.
Roger. Ground WestJet 704, we're coming up Charlie 8.
WestJet 704, turn right on Charlie 8, and south on Charlie, hold short of the...
Juliet Golf Fox for Juliet, WestJet 167.
Hotel Juliet Golf for Fox.
That's right. Flaps.
Okay, got one plan, one indicated green light, G10.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Checked. Trim.
5.16 units.
Takeoff data.
Checked. Set LNAV.
LNAV. Recall.
Checked.
Before takeoff checklist complete to the line.
Connects.
WestJet 167, taxi to position threshold 28. Be number 2 to go behind company off 34, their number is 157.
Position runway 38, WestJet 167, check brakes.
All right, going to position before takeoff checklist. Low lines, clear left.
Clear right.
WestJet 157, departure 19.8 in the air, clear takeoff 34.
Auto
WestJet
throttle armed,
157,
cabin
clear takeoff
notification
runway 34.
complete, engine start switches continuous, transponder on, before takeoff checklist complete.
Thanks.
WestJet 704 on turn. WestJet 704, company head has clearance to taxi to position threshold 34. To position 34, WestJet 704. WestJet 167, departure 19.8, near clear takeoff 28.
Clear takeoff 28, WestJet 167, good day.
Yeah.
Set thrust.
Thrust set.
Check.
V1.
V1.
WestJet 74, departure
Rotate.
19.8, near clear takeoff 34. Clear takeoff 34, WestJet 701.
Positive rate.
Yep. Settle down.
LNAV.
Landing.
Check.
Plug up. Plugs up.
WestJet 157, direct Edmonton VOR flight plan
Plugs
ready.
up, no lights.
WestJet 157, direct Edmonton VOR
High
flight plan
thrust level
ready.
change.
Clear.
Takeoff check the shear station.
Target departure, hello, WestJet 167, 5.7 now.
WestJet 167, departure, good afternoon. Maintain 9,000 at 6,500, direct spray. Right to left, 1,000 feet above your cleared altitude, southbound to PC 12.
Flight level, cleared up to 9,000 meters, 6,500, direction where we check the rest, WestJet 167.
Jerk Horizon 2487, contact Edmonton
9,000.
Center now, frequency 13330.
Oh, you select issue set direct spray.
47, in a couple hours. You bet. Departure WestJet 704 with you through
Direct spray.
5,400.
Execute.
WestJet 704 departure, direct Grotto, maintain photo with 250. Up to 250, direct Grotto, WestJet 704.
Hello.
Jerk.
Check.
WestJet 821, center 1333. Level 3, right 21, good day. 9.
8,000 for 9,000.
Check 8,000 or 9,000.
Air conditioning and pressurization set. APU off. Engine start switches off. Landing gear up and off. Flaps up. No lights. Auto brake off. After takeoff check was complete.
WestJet 167, that traffic will be passing more than 3 miles behind to maintain photo with 250.
Flight level 250, WestJet 167.
Jerk.
250.
250.
Glacier 7243 to 5,000 for 7,000.
Glacier 7253, turn right 070, maintain 17,000.
070 for 17,000, Glacier 7243.
Glacier 7243, roger. WestJet 167, contact center 13.
11,000 for level 250, that's right.
WestJet 167, Edmonton Center, good day, maintain flight level 350.
Flight level 350, WestJet 167.
Roger.
350.
Enough.
Check.
3285, Tower 00, come today.
Hello everyone, we're just a little off here to cruising altitude today of 34,000 feet. We were originally flight planned to cruise altitude of 40,000 feet, however ATC was unable to give us that today due to some crossing traffic ahead of us. So we dialed in flight level 340. The FMC calculated out, it's going to cost us a little fuel to stay down there, but only 100 pounds. Such a short leg to Vancouver, there's not going to be much difference in our fuel burn at 34,000 compared to 40,000. FMC did slow us down. It calculated out 0.77 Mach instead of 0.78 at flight level 400. Just give you a quick rundown of our instrumentation here today. This is our ADI. As you can see, it shows our Mach speed, indicator airspeed. There's our command bars from our flight director and altitude of course of flight level 340. We're in VNAV mode with the autopilot and LNAV, which means it's going to track the track that the FMC has calculated out for us. We're going from direct spray to intersection of Booth, just outside of Vancouver, and in a few minutes we'll be putting in our standard terminal arrival routing and the runway 26 into Vancouver. Over here is our engine monitors. Gives our N1 fuel flows and EGT. Below that is our fuel flow. Anytime we want, we can have a look at our engine parameters down here on the lower screen. Normally we leave it blanked. If there's a problem with anything, it automatically pops up to let us know that there's something that's not quite right. All the engine parameters are constantly monitored by GE through our ACARS system on the FMC. Our ACARS gives us a lot of information. We have all our dispatch criteria is on there. Anything the company wants to tell us, they can type us an ACARS message. We have sat phone, so we can talk to MedLink on it. It does all kinds of things for us. Over on the right hand side there on Sheila's side, everything's pretty much the same as my side. Here's our MCP panel. Course selection in there, heading, altitude, and all our MCP buttons to change from LNAV to VNAV, level change. We can fly totally automated, or we can level down as much as we want, right down to raw data, and just fly the airplane manually. Down here's our throttle control quadrant. Right now we're in cruise mode. The auto throttles just maintain 0.77 Mach for us. Speed brake, flaps handle, and down here's our fire control panel. If we have a fire engine 1 or 2 or the APU, it lights up, gives us a bell, lets us know what's going on, and we can deal with it from there. Down here's all our communications panel. We have our 2 VHFs, our NAVs, transponder, and ACARS data, and along with our trim for ailerons and rudder at the back of the pedestal. As you can see here, our top of descent is about 150 miles away. That might change a little once we put in our arrival routing, and we'll dial that in here in a second. Sheila just got the ATIS for Vancouver via the ACARS, and we'll set that up here in a few minutes, and then that'll recalculate the descent, and the aircraft will just start down once we're cleared to a lower altitude. Progress page on our FMC shows us that we're going to land in Vancouver with 12,500 pounds of fuel. Shows us that we're going to be touching down the runway pretty much right on schedule. That might change a little bit once we put in our runway information, but it'll give us an estimate time of arrival into Vancouver.
We've just been asked by ATC to increase to 0.79 or greater.
Okay, I'll get you set decimal 79, please.
Confirm modified cruise 0.79.
Execute.
Would you like that in the descent as well?
Sure, put 79 in the descent. to 300.
Confirm modified descent 0.79 and 300.
Execute. If you heard that or not, the ADC just asked us to increase our speed up to 0.79. So Sheila, our normal SOP is that the non-flying pilot types in the request by the flying pilot. We both look at it, make sure it's what we want, and then we execute it with the execute button in the FMC, and then the airplane increases the thrust so we can maintain 0.79 Mach. Sheila just got the ATIS up here into Vancouver. Winds are light, a little bit gusty out of the south. Rain showers in the area. Broken cloud layer at 3,400, a few clouds at 2,100. Another broken layer at 6,000, temperature 18 degrees. And they're using the runway 26 right, 26 left into Vancouver. So if you're ready there, Sheila, I'll get you to bring up the Canuck 6 arrival for the ILS on 26 right. This time Sheila is selecting the runway along with arrival into Vancouver. And go ahead.
Confirm the Vancouver arrival, Canuck 6, runway 20, or the ILS 26 right.
Execute. I'll get you to confirm the waypoints and altitudes. Flap 30, auto rate 2. Okay, so we just put in the arrival routing into Vancouver with runway 26, and now I've asked Sheila to go through the legs page of the FMC. That she just goes through and checks to make sure that the legs page in the FMC matches up with our approach plates. She goes through and confirms that to make sure our altitude crossings are correct. The right waypoints are in the FMC. And then once we do that, once she does that, she'll confirm that for me, and then we'll give her a quick briefing on the arrival and landing into Vancouver. Sheila's one of the best FOs we have here at WestJet.
Sorry, I missed that. Say again?
I was just telling everybody that Sheila's one of the best FOs we have here at WestJet.
And you're one of the best captains. I'll pay you $10 later. Waypoints and altitudes are verified.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Sheila, you ready for a quick briefing here on the landing?
Go ahead.
It's going to be the Canuck 6 arrival for ILS runway 26 right in Vancouver, page 10-2 Charlie. Going to be coming in over Booth on the descent, crossing VTOL at between 14 and 10,230 knots. Cross Dave at or above 9,200, GoPab at or above 7,900, Mogus at or above 6,700, OpDot at or above 5,000, on to Newton at or above 4,000. That'll be the visual approach, back up by ILS, runway 26 right, page 11-8. Local frequency is 111.95. Final approach course is 261. That's set twice. Visual approach on runway 26 right. Airport elevation is 14 feet. In the event of a go-around, we'll climb on heading at 261. Intercept the Vancouver 290-degree radial outbound. Proceed to Dutno 2000. Hold south east of Dutno. All turns left. If we get the sidestep over to 26 left, I'll just get you to select my ILS over to 110.7, and I'll just visually fly the approach from there to 26 left, if they offer it to us in time to do so. Noise abatement is low power drag profile on the approach. If we land on 26 right, minimal reverse thrust on the rollout. on 26 right, and on 26 left, we can use our as much reverse as we need. Plan to exit on probably Mike 4 or Mike 6, 26 right off. 26 left, we'll try for the reverse Delta 1 exit. Any questions?
No questions.
As you can see, we're just starting our descent now into Vancouver. We just hit our top of descent point, and auto throttle starts to come back on its own, and the aircraft starts down at its predetermined descent rate to make all the crossing restrictions into Vancouver. Yeah, we have a few restrictions on terrain today. The arrival looks after that. That's we had all the crossing points on our legs page. We have a Stave crossing at 9,200 or above, GoPad at 7,900 above, MOGAS at 6,700 or above, and that's all in there to get us over the terrain. There's some fairly high terrain just on the east side of Vancouver.
I check drag required.
Check. Overlay our weather radar over our track on our nav display. As you can see, there's a bit of a cell just to the south of our track, which it looks like we're going to miss that, but it's nice to have the ability to compare the weather to our track in case we have to make any slight deviations to get around any weather. Deceleration point. We have an intersection called VTEV that we have to slow to 230 knots. So once we went by that point, the aircraft levels off and started to slow up to 230 knots.
10,000 on 2998 Air Canada.
You see the aircraft is slow to 230 knots.
167
and
Vancouver Arrival
starts to descent. The rest of the descent now once it's got a speed of 230.
Vancouver Arrival runway 26 right. Charlie's near us. Okay, we get Charlie, 26 right. Jazz 8204, maintain 10,000. 10,000, Jazz 8204.
Thanks.
Tango Oscar Golf, speed 230. Okay, 230 now, Tango Oscar Golf.
Arrival, hello, WestJet 167, 12-3 for 10,000.
WestJet 167, Vancouver Arrival, runway 26 right. Fly heading 215, maintain 900,000.
Heading 215, maintain 9,000, WestJet 167.
That's correct.
Heading select 215.
At 1139, maintain 8,000.
9,000.
Down to 8,000, United 1139. Tango Oscar Golf, fly heading 310. 310, Tango Oscar Golf. Jazz 8204, speed 210 knots, and then descend to 8,000.
And then drag required.
Jazz 8204.
Check.
Tango Oscar Golf, report your heading and speed to arrival now 1331. You are cleared to 5,000. Okay, down to 5,000 on 33.1. Tango Oscar Golf. Roger.
Anti-ice is on, air conditioning and pressurization set. Altimeters and instruments set and cross-checked. N1 airspeed bugs checked and set. Auto brake 2, cabin notification complete. Descent approach checklist complete.
Thank you. Okay, speed intervention 210.
Check.
Arrival, WestJet 167, descending 7,000 for 5,000, heading 215.
WestJet 167, 26 right.
67.
Jazz 8204, keep turning to a 230 heading. That's intercept cleared ILS 26 right, keep the speed up.
230 for the SF Dallas, 26 right, we'll keep the speed up 8204.
Yep, 3000 still established. Just for information, there's a citation at the Alexander Bridge. He's on final for the left side.
Okay, we check, thanks. 160 over tower, the beacon single scroll.
At arrival, United 1139 is with you. We're leaving 6400 for 5000, heading 290, 220 speed. United 1139, 26 right. Roger. Jazz 8204, keep the speed up again as best you can at the totem, 170 knots.
Okay, we'll keep the speed up to total man 170, 8204.
6,000 for 5,000.
6,000 for 5,000.
WestJet 167, 3000 still established. You cleared for the ILS approach, runway 26 right.
Clear the ILS approach, runway 26 right, 3,000 final, WestJet 167.
WestJet 167, that's correct. Fairly good rate of descent down to 3, please.
You'll pick it up to 3,000, WestJet 167.
Thank you.
3,000.
Check 3,000. Set an intercept course to totem for me,
Tower
please.
1955.
2000, still established 1955 total, we'll see you now, 8204.
Confirm intercept totem 261.
Execute.
WestJet 167, 210 knots or greater until established.
210 or better till established, WestJet 167.
Roger, United 1139, speed up 200 knots now.
Approach arm.
Check and you're in a control wheel pitch.
Hold change.
297
Check.
with you, 7200 for 5210 knots. United 1139, turn right to a heading of 320. 320 heading, United 1139. Thank you. You're again at 297, it's runway 26 right. Roger. And WestJet 167, that's 210 knots there, is it correct?
We're doing 220.
Even better. United 1139, speed 200 knots. Okay, we're at
4,000 for 3,000.
Check 4,000 for 3,000.
Check.
Vancouver Tower, hello, WestJet 167, with the ILS 26 right.
WestJet 167, Vancouver Tower, winds 180 at 13, altimeter 2998. Number 2 to a regional jet, 2.5 miles with touchdown.
WestJet 167.
Altimeter is 2998 now.
2998, so.
Flaps?
30 green light.
Landing checklist is complete. 1,000 feet.
Check set. Approach altitude.
2,000 feet set.
2715, line 4, see you now.
WestJet 167, clear to land, 26 right.
Clear to land, 26 right, WestJet 167.
You're clear to land.
Check. Autopilot disengage.
Check 500 feet.
Check.
Afternoon, Vancouver Tower, United 1139 is with you at total. United 1139, Vancouver Tower, wind is 180 at 12, altimeter 2998, number 2, flow 737, 1 mile for touchdown. United 1139, roger.
Autothrone disengage.
Check.
50, 30, 20, 10.
Autobrake disarm.
Check.
WestJet 167,
60 knots.
high speed, contact 2715.
2715, WestJet 167,
United 11.
Ground hello, WestJet 167, Mike 4 for gate 10 Alpha 4.
Jet 167, taxi Mike, Juliet, hold short Lima on Juliet, contact south ground.
Mike Juliet, short Lima over ground, WestJet 167.
Mike Juliet, then short of Lima.
Mike Juliet, short of Lima. Thanks.
Ground Air Canada 297 is on hotel. Air Canada 297, good day, taxi Hotel Lima, home shoulder Juliet. Home shoulder Juliet, Air Canada 297. Good afternoon, Delta 926 with you coming up shortly. Delta 926, continue Hotel Delta, runway 26 left. Hotel Delta 26 left, Delta 926. Ground Pasco 209 taxi. 209 ground taxi via Charlie, altimeter 29907.
Parking checkers. Parking checkers.
Parking brake.
It's off.
Start levers.
Cut off.
Anti-collision light.
Off.
Fasten belt.
Off.
Air conditioning.
No packs. Engine bleeds on.
Electric hydraulic pumps.
Ease off.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Window heat.
On.
Iris selectors.
Down.
Parking checklist complete.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, we're planning the Vancouver 4 departure from runway 26 left, page 10-3D, effective the 8th of June 06. All aircraft do not exceed 280 knots until above 7,000 feet. And climb on heading 261 or as assigned by ATC. Maintain 7,000 feet and contact departure passing 1,000 feet unless otherwise instructed.
Okay.
And for noise, we're going to be doing a VNAP Alpha. Fall is set to 3,000 feet before proceeding on course. And engine out procedure is left turn heading 130, flap retraction through 1,000 feet. Any questions?
No questions. I'll give you the road here if you're ready for that.
Go ahead.
So we're direct Janek, Janek. Direct Vidri, Bidri. And that's it, direct Kelowna.
For the route, I've got Vancouver to Kelowna, flight number 124, runway 26 left. Direct Janek, direct Vidri, with a distance of 174.
174. That's good. Reserves are 6.8. Cost index 22. Flight level 250. Winds are 246, diagonal 40. Minus 33 degrees. Okay, I got runway 26 left. Winds are calm. Temperature's 18 degrees, 2997, and it feels 13.8.
Sounds good. Oil pressure, N1.
Other station I called?
Done. Starter cutout.
Ground Pasco 230, Alpha 2.
Stable at number 1.
Pasco 3. So 124, 26 left, number 2998, taxi code route Echo.
WestJet 12.
Ground Pasco 611, taxi.
Code route Echo 2998.
Pasco 611, 26 left, number 2998.
Code route
Check
Echo
2
is
company is
Echo
just
Delta.
entering the south area off of Alpha, the taxi Charlie. You'll take Charlie 26 left, 2. Mike Papa Oscar, there'll be a short delay for IFR separation, wake turbulence behind that median. Mike Papa Oscar. Hotel Tango Roger, watch for a helicopter Terra Nova southwestbound going to San Hits at 500. We're clear for takeoff, runway 26 left.
Clear for takeoff 26 left, WestJet 124.
It is, sir. Harmony 228 behind the WestJet taxi position 26 left, number 3 for departure. Fine, WestJet,
Southwest.
Harmony 228, number 3. Pasco 611 at Charlie taxi position 26 left. No, runway 26 left, Pasco 6 left. For the full planes about to land, the wind's 188, gusting 15.
80 knots.
All clear to go.
V1.
Rotate.
Oscar 611, the 37 is going straight out. Couple of float planes inbound from the southwest. You're joining the downwind left hand. They're both at 500. Left turn Richmond 9 to reach. Your caution to launch. You clear for takeoff. Runway 26 left. Take up 26 left. Let's go.
Heading select.
Heading select.
Command B.
Check. Climb has double change. Departure gate 8, WestJet 124 through 2000 for 7000.
WestJet 124, Vancouver departure radar identified. Maintain 9,000, leaving 3,000, right heading 360.
Center 9,000 and 3,000, right to 360, WestJet 124.
Sure.
9,000.
Hard up.
Check.
Heading 360.
Check.
Flaps up.
Flaps up, no lights.
After takeoff, check list condition.
No lights. Water brake off. After takeoff, checklist complete.
Thank you.
WestJet 124, maintain 16,000.
16,000, WestJet 124. 16,000.
VNAV.
Check.
Oscar 341, traffic 1130, 6 miles opposite direction 47, we'll
Speed
pass above
intervention.
you.
I'm just going to climb
Thank you,
above
we
this
have traffic
cloud.
lane.
Okay.
Windows closed.
So 240 for 250.
Check 240 for 250. Okay, thanks. I'll take flaps 30 auto brake 2, please.
35.5, you go flap 30, auto brake 2.
Thanks. Are you ready for the briefing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, it's going to be the Kelowna RNAV RNP runway 16, page 19-4, effective the 8th of June 06. Runway heading is 157, airport elevation 1409. From LW 580, 17,000 or above, LW 576, 10,000 or above to Igsaw. At 8,500 or above, LW 568. At 8,000 or above, and LW 564 at 7,600 or above. At that point, we should have VNAV path enunciated. Onto NADA 5,100 or above to LW 512 at 3,500 or above. That's our FAF, and we've got that enunciated as a fix. Then a glide path of 3.2 degrees. Down to LW 508 at 2720, LW 504 at 2390 to our RNP point 3 decision altitude of 2169. Because it's visual today, we're just going to use that as a backup. Otherwise, we should have the field visual. In the event of a missed approach, we're going to climb to 9,500 via the RNP missed approach track to EBNAV and hold as published. Maximum holding speed is 230 knots. We'll do that in LNAV. In the event that we're unable to cross EBNAB at 9500, we'll call emergency with ATC. Climb to 8000 by the RNAV RNP engine out approach track to LW828 and hold as published. And again, the max holding speed is 230 knots. And we have flaps 30, auto brake 2, it's runway 16, there's no noise. We will exit probably the end. Any questions?
No questions, understood. How about I link up Deidre to LW580 for now. That'll give us the turn, and then I'll get clearance because the next guy will call us at Deidre.
Okay, sure. Sounds good.
Okay, confirm Deidre linked up with LW580.
Execute. Thank you.
Okay, what we've done here is we set up for our RNP approach into to Kelowna. So we're basically just using aircraft only systems along with satellite GPS. Center tanks are off for the approach into Kelowna. I don't know if you can see it on the video there, but we're just going to follow this track right in, which gives us a turn right into the runway using GPS and the aircraft systems to make the turn. We're not using any ground-based equipment at all, no ILS or localizer for this approach. So we're coming up here to Deidre, which is non. We're going to make a turn to this LW580 and follow this route all the way in, starting to turn, and another slight turn again right into runway 16. All those turns keep us clear of the terrain, and they all have crossing altitudes that we will make sure that they get crossed at. WestJet came up with this approach just to kind of help us out with approaches into airports that don't have precision approaches, any localizers, NDB approaches, or in this case in Kelowna, a lot of terrain in the area. Able to cut a lot of corners. As you can see, the approach takes us right down the valley as well as the missed approach. We have a couple approaches where the aircraft just follows the valleys with terrain on both sides, where we're actually lower than the terrain following the valley into the approach. It's opened up a lot of windows for us, a lot of places that we can get into where we couldn't before in bad weather. For instance, Kelowna here for runway 34, there was no approach for that. The only way we could do it before was with a visual circling approach or a visual approach, but a lot of times wouldn't allow us to get into Kelowna. The RMP approach allows us to fly right down the valley, right to the runway, just using the aircraft and satellite systems. So we're kind of a leader in this, and we're pretty proud of it. It's working really well for us. We're getting more and more approaches for other runways throughout our system.
WestJet 124, Vancouver Center, good afternoon. Clear direct Kelowna NDB.
I'd like to do the RNAV runway 16 here. Is that possible under Deidre LW580?
WestJet 124, clear direct LW580.
Direct LW580, WestJet 124. Is that direct LW580?
You're from direct LW580.
Execute.
So we just got cleared one of the fixes on the approach to LW580, which takes us to this point here, and we're going to be starting our ascent here in about another 20-30 miles for Kelowna.
Vancouver Jazz 8418.
So we're hoping today it's not really an IFR day out here. We could do the visual approach, but we'd like to show you here. So maybe we'll be able to see some of the terrain that we're going to be flying by.
RNP approach is just like doing a precision ILS approach in that it gives us both lateral and vertical indications of how close we are onto the slope. So required nav performance on the vertical descent is, we've set it for 125 feet. And our actual nav performance at the moment is only 152 feet, and that's why it's indicated in the yellow yellow there. So basically, as we get a bit closer,
Coverage is 8250, requesting descent.
our actual nav performance will be less than our required nav performance, which is what we're looking for. That is also indicated on this side here. The solid yellow just indicates that we're above our required nav performance. And it isn't an issue at this point because we're still quite far back on the approach. As we get closer, it gets more accurate. And the lateral is indicating, we've set it for 0.3 of a nautical mile. That's how accurate this is, and that's the split here that you see. And so our actual nav performance is right inside of that, doing 0.08 right now of a nautical mile. That's how accurate the aircraft is at the moment. So it's just going to continue to follow down in path vertically and laterally.
Pretty good. Jazzy 194, level 12,000, Camel, site cancel IFR. Jazzy 194, thanks. Check canceling IFR over to radio 125.7. Back just for the visual for WestJet 124. 124, roger, turn right heading 120, radar vectors, visual approach Kelowna. Okay, right 120, WestJet 124.
Heading select.
Revise the heading there, make it heading 110. Okay, 110, WestJet 124. Roger, check. Vancouver, takeoff, cancel IFR.
Yeah, that's too bad.
You see what the winds are?
Flight check canceling IFR and you'll
They probably just changed the active because it was just a crosswind. It's more that it's not that we can't do it. It's just that they're using that as an active runway. So,
Change.
do you want me to just put runway 34 in for you then?
Yeah, if you could set up the ILS runway 34, please.
Just be the approach, right? Just the runway?
Yeah, that's just the runway, it's fine, thanks.
Okay, confirm runway 34.
Execute.
WestJet 124, maintain 8,000. 8,000, WestJet 124.
Engine anti-air please.
Yeah, it's on.
124, roger, contact North Tower now 119.6. 19.6, WestJet 124. Well, target 8, WestJet 124, WestJet 10,000, cancel IFR of Vancouver. On heading 110 for runway 34, information India. WestJet 112, correction 124, Kelowna target A, the wind's 330, 15 to 20 now, altimeter 2984, cleared left base. 2984, cleared left base, WestJet 124.
2984.
2984 set.
Minus 10,000 feet.
10,000 feet descent and approach checklist, please.
Jenny 8's off.
Yes, off, thank you.
Okay, Jenny 8's
Tell the whiskey your altitude, please.
off. Air conditioning, pressurization set. Temperature instruments set. Crouch check. In-one air circulation check set. And cabin notification complete. Set. Flow check is complete. That's 9 for 8. We cancel IFR, so you can put whatever you want there.
Check.
For 7.
Check 8,000 for 7,000.
So as you can tell, they changed runways on us, so we're just going to do the visual approach on runway 34 now. The winds have picked up strong out of the north, so we're just going to be landing visually on runway 34.
Flaps 5. Speed 180.
Check. Landing here.
Down 3 green.
Pulling at flat 15.
Vertical speed.
Check.
Flaps 30. Target 137.
Check. That's 1,000 feet.
Check Sims approach altitude.
8,000, sir.
Check.
500. One hundred.
Check.
50. 30. 20. 10.
Check. Disarm the auto brake, please.
Auto brake disarm.
All set? Ready to go. Set thrust. Thrust it. Shape. Check.
V1.
Rotate. Heading select. Heading select. And in. Check.
Kelowna Tower, WestJet 124, switch to center. Have a good afternoon. WestJet 124, don't have you on the radar there yet. They won't see you until you're out about 3,500 feet, so call them then, and 33.5, have a good flight. WestJet 124, bye-bye. Through 4,400 feet off Kelowna, you have far in the range. Remember. 2
Kilo Tango November, Vancouver, the squawk code is 0346. There's a 737 just off runway 34, about 10 miles south of you now, climbing out of your altitude.
Person 0346, and looking for traffic, Kilo Tango November.
Russia 124, Vancouver squawk ident. When safe, cleared to Calgary Airport, direct Hauser flight plan, maintain 13,000, radar identified.
Okay, one safe, direct Hauser, flight plan 13,000, question 120.
Russia 124, there's Conquest traffic about 10 miles north there at the same altitude. They're headed for Cranbrook.
Okay, we have one TCAS, thanks.
Hotel Mike Julia, radar service terminates. Contact Penticton Radio now on 1185.
1185 for Hotel Mike Julia, have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Takeoff check.
Kilo Tango November, you are radar identified. There will be a short delay for the IFR there until the 737 gets a bit of altitude.
Kilo Tango checks. Thank you for sending a day watch at 124 through 9,100 for 13,000.
WestJet 124, Vancouver Center, good afternoon. Maintain flight level 250.
Level 250, watch that 124.
Sure.
Vancouver Center, Conquest Foxtrot, Kilo Tango November is through 8,000. Blocking 0346, requesting IFR Cranbrook.
Kilo Tango November, Vancouver radar identified. You're clear to the Cranbrook Airport via vectors to the climb. Continue your present heading. And maintain flight level 210.
Yeah. Should be alright here. Send direct Hauser again.
WestJet 124, Vancouver on 135.5. See ya.
35.5, WestJet 124. 0 for final.
At 295, maintain flight level 310.
310, 295. Vancouver Center, good day, watch at 124 with you, level 250.
Russia 124, roger, and how much further on that heading for the deviation?
Probably about 10 miles for Russia 124.
Will you require any further left?
Nope, this heading should be fine.
Russia 124, roger, maintain flight level 330.
Level 330, Russia 124.
Roger.
Deviate left as required at WestJet 124 and expect vectors 10 when you're done. Speed 250 knots or less. Maintain 10,000. Okay, vectors approved down to 10,000, 250 or less on the speed WestJet 124. Just let me know when you can take headings toward Arbuck. Check. We can take Arbuck now for WestJet 124. 10,000. Direct Arbuck, WestJet 124. What do you direct Arbuck, WestJet 124?
Send direct Arbuck.
Air Canada 216, maintain 7,500.
4 tower taxi to position, threshold runway 16. Just check their marks about the wind shear on final for 16.
Okay, taxi in position, hold 16 WestJet 74, check your marks.
Roger.
Target tower today, WestJet 124 with the RNP runway 2.
WestJet 124, tower tower number 2 for runway 10, following Airbus by 5 miles, continue in. There were wind shear warnings on runway 16, short final gain of 15 to 30 knots.
WestJet 124.
Jazz 8153, left reverse Charlie 2, ground 1209, short of Charlie.
Charlie 2, hold short Charlie 2, 0.
Air Canada 124 companies on the roll, 16 will be through their section momentarily, winds are 170 at 8, clear to land, runway 10.
Land on 10, WestJet 124.
500.
Skywest 6587, tower taxi to position, threshold over runway 16. Roger. Sky 6587, you checked your marks about the wind shear, short final for 16.
Check the mark.
Thank you.
$100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
11 Little Red 911, just keep your speed up. The landing clearance will be inside 25.
You bet, I'll keep the speed up. Little Red 911.
Yep. Go at 6587, contact departure 119 decimal later, airborne winds 1707, clear for takeoff for 916.
Takeoff 127.
60 knots.
WestJet 824 on tower.
WestJet 824 is with you on slow to final here.
WestJet 824, roger, right back to final approach speed. You will be King Air landing 16 in front. Winds are 170 at 7.
Hi folks, welcome aboard. This is WestJet Airlines and we're in a 737-600 series NG. We are the proud owners now. I think number 9 just came. So we have 9 and we have 1 more coming this year. So we're the first commercial operators of the 600s. Right now we're utilizing them basically to replace old Fat Albert, the 737-200 on shorter hauls and thinner leg segments. Today we're out of Calgary up to Fort McMurray on a direct flight. Fort McMurray is the booming oil metropolis and it's the bright shining star in the Canadian oil patch. More proven reserves in the tar sands at oil at Fort McMurray than in Saudi Arabia. So we're up there today, up to Fort McMurray, quick half-hour stop, and then turn around back into Calgary. So we're just going to carry on with our briefings here. Udo will be filming us as we carry on up to McMurray today. Sit back, relax, enjoy the flight. Talk to you in a bit. So again, normal SOPs, everything as per the SOP. If I'm doing anything that makes you nervous, Ed, give me a slap up the side of the head. If the pricklies are standing up on the side of on the back of your head, tell me. As long as we're talking to each other, we should be able to stay out of trouble. Whenever you're ready then, we'll carry on. So basically we're just doing the captain's flow here. The overhead panel for those aircraft aficionados, it's exactly the same. The whole flight deck is exactly the same as the 700 and the 800s and the 900s. All the NGs are exactly the same, and this is pretty close to what the old 200 looks like. As you move out of the overhead panel down to the MCP, it's exactly the same again as the 700 and the 800 and the 900. So we're just carrying on with the flow here. And then we'll do a before start checklist while they're boarding in the back. And then we'll be up and on our way. It's a little tight to do a crew change and move 180 guests in 30 minutes, but we'll try to do our best here. And there we go. Okay, ready for some briefs?
Sure.
Okay. In the event of rejected takeoff, we'll call reject. Close the thrust levers, disengage the auto throttle, apply maximum braking, deploy speed brake, reverse thrust, stop the aircraft. Once stopped, set the park brake, still speed brake, command the applicable checklist, advise flight attendants and the guests.
After speed brake, reverse, and auto brake operation, advise ATC, call 60 knots, stand by to initiate the checklist as commanded.
Okay, event of an engine fire failure after V1, continue to take off, rotate normally at VR.
I'll call positive brake.
I'll call gear up, climb flat traction altitude, safe altitude, call for the engine fire, engine severe damage, engine separation, QRC. Call bug up, retract flaps on schedule, call for max continuous thrust. Call for level change, climb at BM to 1500 feet, and call for the QRC reference items or the engine failure and shutdown checklist. Stampede 1 off runway 34, runway heading or as assigned for vectors, no left turns below 6500 south of the SARC. And if we have to, straight ahead, flaps at 1000 feet, and we'll turn down no, we won't off 34, it's straight ahead, and we'll get radar vectors back for the ILS runway 34. Okay. Okay, takeoff conditions. Okay, and we'll build a route.
Okay. Flight 157.
Okay, Calgary McMurray, flight 157, runway 34.
This is Stampede 1 to Wessex, WESEX. Victor 112 to Dagty. Jet 537 to Edmonton VOR.
G.
Jet 517 to Yankee Mike Mike.
517. Thank you, Mike.
Then direct to the airport.
Okay. So, I've got Calgary McMurray 157 off 34. Direct Wessex, Victor 112, Dagty, J537 to Edmonton VOR, Jet 517 to McMurray VOR. And the Prague is showing 357.
363.
Okay. And confirm the route.
Activate, execute. 7.0 for reserves.
7.0.
Cost index 23.
Costing 23.
Flight level 400.
400.
087
087/25.
and -51.
-51. Okay. And 3428 Fox 132959. You can send it away.
Right brake is released, we're cleared to push back our discretion, and we'll turn on the push.
Alright, sounds good. We're commencing pushback.
Excellent.
WestJet 157. Contact departure 1980 airborne wind 350 at 15, clear for takeoff runway 34, good day.
Takeoff 34, departure airborne WestJet 157, good day.
Clear.
Here we go, Udo. Thrust is coming up. Through about 70, there we go. The auto throttle. Set thrust, please.
Thrust set. Check.
WestJet 671 Tower, clear to land runway 34 right. Charlie 2, please available to wind 350 at 20. Sorry, we're a little busy there. Confirm WestJet 671 is cleared to land. 671 indeed, clear to land runway 34 to wind 350 at 20. Okay, clear to land, WestJet 671. Roger.
Heading select. Heading select. Command A. Check.
Plug up.
Departure WestJet 157 with you 5,000 for 7,000.
WestJet 157, Calgary ready and fired, maintain flight level 250, climb runway heading.
250 runway heading, WestJet 157.
WestJet 704, Edmonton Center now on 124.45. 24.45 now, WestJet 7505, Jet 8432.
Check direct to the Edmonton VOR. If you could set that in the box, please.
Confirm direct to Edmonton VOR.
And we confirm that first, and then we execute. Going to LNAV. Every time you order something on the MCP, you check down here to make sure that it enunciates that that's what you got. So LNAV now will make us children of the magenta line, and we'll follow the magenta line to the Edmonton VOR.
10,000 feet.
Check 10,000 feet. Okay, we're going to go to VNAV now, and VNAV will put us into the climb mode here. Should bring up the 283, and again the magenta comes up 283 knots, and then transition to Mach 782. Back on the intercom. So we were talking about what the 600 does. That's a typical day for 600, between 10 and 12 legs and sectors, and running between 9 and 11 hours a day. So. Out of the 3 airplanes that we have, this one flies the closest to the 200. That's for the Boeing fanatics out there. It's a nice airplane, it is. And we don't have the winglets on the 600s. We do on the 700s and the 800s. And we were having this discussion this morning, Udo, that for us and our perceived role for the 600s, it's not really going to pay to have the winglets on. They say that if we were doing legs longer than, gone to heading select here for a second. Just take us a little bit to the left of this, or to the right. Maybe tell center we're just going to deviate a little bit to the right there.
You go to the right just a little bit here for a build-up.
WestJet 157 deviations to the right are approved.
Okay, WestJet 157.
Anyway, the blended winglets wouldn't really give us increased performance on this aircraft unless we were doing sectors in the 700 nautical mile range. And that's not what we're perceiving the aircraft being used for. So, so for right now, it's the baby Boeing. It's a little buzz bomb. And I'm back into LNAV, Ed.
Check.
Kilo Romeo Oscar, contact Edmonton 12445.
I'm going to turn off belts.
Kilo Romeo Oscar, thanks.
What else can we tell you? It's, I mean, as you look at the flight deck, it is exactly the same as the 700 and the 800. And the big difference on the aircraft, of course, is the short fuselage length. And mostly where that shows up is in our pit number 1 underneath. It doesn't exist on a 600. Not like the 700. So during the heavy rush peak periods, you sometimes find that develops into a baggage issue, but generally the aircraft is, like we were saying earlier, is used for the higher frequency and the thinner routes, just so we can add that frequency into some of these smaller communities that we do serve. Over here on the right, First Officer Ed Sims, and I'm Peter Bile. I've been with WestJet for coming up 7 years, and yourself, Ed, you've been a year and a half for Ed?
Yeah, about a year and a half for me.
Yeah. And where did you come from before it? This is the first time we've flown together. So
Before this, I was at Sunwest Home Aviation. They're a charter company out of Calgary that used to do a lot of flying into the oil patch, like Fort McMurray and areas like that.
And me, I've prior to this, I waterbombed for 13 years out of Saskatchewan and flew up in the territories. Our old buddy Buffalo Joe, and this was my first real airline job. Flew in the bush in Saskatchewan, Manitoba, the territories. Flew in Africa, the Caribbean, and this is where I found a home 7 years ago. Loved the 200. Lucky enough to be there on the last day. I flew the 200 in the morning and turned it over to my brother Ernie in the afternoon. And we flew the last day on the 200, and then we went in for remedial training onto the next generation Boeings. So here we are now with the push button glass flight decks, higher, faster, further, and quieter. So it's great. So we're into McMurray and visual conditions. Plan a right-hand visual onto runway 07, and we'll back it up with the plate. So if you wouldn't mind, tune and identify the radios, and verify the waypoints and the altitudes. We'll make the McMurray NDB hard at, let's say at 2,200 feet. And let's transition for right now via Missit, and we'll plan Missit at 2,600 feet.
Confirm the back course runway 07.
And execute.
What do you want me to do with the disco?
Actually, let's see if we can get direct Missit at this time. I don't know if this sector will give it to us or the next guy.
WestJet 157, stand by for that.
All right, otherwise?
Yeah, we'll get rid of that later.
You want to miss it at what altitude?
2,600 and 2,100 at the beacon.
Your radar identified, city center altimeter 2963. 2963, aircraft 363.
Waypoints and altitudes are verified.
Okay, and tune and identify the radios, and we're looking at 073 as the inbound for this back course.
253. Okay, the radios have been tuned.
Okay, and I'm ADF. And yeah, so the right-hand visual, once we got the airport, we'll just make the right-hand visual, pick it up just outside the beacon, and the standard visual calls. In the event we do a missed approach, it'll be straight ahead, and it'll be a right-hand circuit visual back for 07. Okay, and we'll plan, let's go, we're pretty light. Let's go flap 30, auto brake 2.
Flap 30, auto brake 2, set.
Okay, any comments, suggestions, questions, queries? Hot stock tips? Anything?
No, sir.
Don't call me sir. Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
Don't give me any of your lip.
WestJet 157, they will have that direct routing for you here a little further to the north for now. Direct to the VOR keeps you clear of some traffic we have.
Okay, we'll stay direct to the OR, WestJet 157.
Roger.
And you know, it's McMurray right now has got the one runway. It's an east-west runway. So a lot of the traffic comes out of Edmonton. So we do the crisscross thing. We're coming in for the right base, but they're coming off with a right turnout back to Edmonton. So you end up getting the jog here. It also gets extremely busy. Most of the oil companies have their own aircraft, corporate aircraft, or they charter smaller aircraft. Matter of fact, one of the tar sands operators has built their own airstrip, and they're flying people right into their own airport, 20 miles north of the McMurray Airport here. It's growing by leaps and bounds. It's you can't hire people in McMurray. It's pretty crazy right now, and it's a real boom economy. We used to do we used to have one flight a day, then we went to 2. Now we're up to 2 direct flights out of Calgary, and I think we're running 2 or 3 out of Edmonton every day. And they're starting to fly direct in from Saskatoon now into McMurray. Not us, but a smaller carrier, and smaller carriers out of Edmonton into McMurray. So that's all part of the economic boom that all of Alberta is going through right now, but especially so up here. Then if you look back to here, you know, notice our vertical speed, and our angle is closing up here. It says we're 1,500 feet, and we're just intercepting that glide path now for the VNAV descent. So when that comes down and comes alive here, we'll go from 1,000 feet a minute down to about 2,800 feet a minute. Through at 10 o'clock.
WestJet 157, you can continue. WestJet 157, maintain 5,000, sir, by full visual. 5,000 WestJet, 157 northbound. 5,000. WestJet 157, correct.
5,000.
Altimeter 2966, 8 is Foxtrot. 2966, we have Foxtrot, WestJet 157.
2966 on the altimeter. There.
You want the engine on the ice?
Yeah, engine and the ice on, please.
Engine and ice is on.
There you go. We're on the descent. We should be out of this, so probably by 15,000 feet. And there should be a highway underneath us. Oh, there we are. Running through the base. There's a highway out the left-hand window. And if you follow that up, as we drop through the bases, you'll see a lake and the airport, town of McMurray, or city of Fort McMurray, and then the tar sands projects. We ended up carrying the tailwind all the way down, which normally doesn't happen up here. Normally you transition down into a headwind of about 20 knots, but we're getting a easterly, southeasterly flow upstairs. So carrying 25 knots all the way down. So the speed brake's coming out now. This is what we call leveling down on a NG aircraft. The runways over there are 1 o'clock, so we're just going to disconnect the autopilot and hand fly the airplane into the airport. Autopilot disconnected. If you wouldn't mind, recycle the flight directors, and you can set the airport in the box. And I check through 6,000 before we turn towards the airport. Great, thank you. Udo, if you're panning out in the front here, see the airport, the city, and then up there, those are all the tar sand projects, all the bigger areas up there. Or protected site, that's what it is. And as we turn towards the airport, you'll see another big lake off to the east there, and that's getting into Saskatchewan. You're getting over towards La Loche country and north of Buffalo Narrows. Okay, if you wouldn't mind setting an intercept course to runway 07, and make runway 07 a hard altitude now.
Julie, November Hotel, Roger. Traffic, Boeing.
Okay, great, thanks.
11 miles to the southwest of the airport at this time. We'll be joining 10-mile final in 30 seconds.
Okay, we'll plan number 2, I guess. I don't think we'll have time to get in there in front of us, and we'll extend our downwind, and we'll call when we have 00.
Julie, November Hotel, Roger.
Set speed. Climb 5. Set speed. Set a heading of 070 on the heading selector.
And McMurray Radio, helicopter Oscar Alpha November.
Helicopter Oscar Alpha November, McMurray Radio.
Thank you.
Yep, you can check me listed 4.5 miles to the northeast of the airstrip there, currently 1500, climbing at 2000 inbound for the field.
Gear down.
Oscar Alpha November, Roger, active runway 07, altimeter 2966, traffic a Boeing 737, 9-mile final runway 07, and a Navajo on a downwind for runway 07. Confirm you'll remain north of the runway at all times.
Flap 15, set speed.
Affirmative north, active all times, so copy the Boeing and the Navajo traffic, keep an eye out, Oscar Alpha November.
Oscar Alpha November, Roger.
WestJet 157, final runway 07.
WestJet 157, Roger. Traffic, a helicopter just crossing the Clearwater River inbound for Canadian will remain north of the runway at all times. And a Navajo on a downwind for runway 07, planning to follow you in.
Hey, WestJet 1.
Roger, taxi at your discretion. Traffic, company Beach 200 on taxiway.
And a landing checklist to the flaps, please, Ed. And set speed. Target.
Flap 30, target set. And flaps.
McMurray Radio.
30 green light.
Romeo Uniform Golf, Cessna 172.
Landing checklist is complete.
Great, thank you. 1,000 feet, set Mr. Approach altitude, please.
You may see a vehicle proceeding through the critical area.
2,700 feet set.
Okay, with the truck visual.
And WestJet 157, disregard. Golf Romeo Uniform Golf, McMurray Radio.
Taxiing for run-up, 07, heading to the northeast practice area.
Romeo Uniform Golf, Roger, active runway 07, altimeter 2966, squawk
500 feet.
115.
Check.
And report when ready to take the runway.
500. Traffic.
0115.
Check.
Radio joining Rumble Hotel. We're going to join a 4-mile land final for 07 and land long for wake turbulence.
Julie, November Hotel, Roger.
$100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Auto brake disarm. 60 knots.
WestJet 157 is down and clear. Remember, Hotel, we have 3.9 at time inbound. Estimating the field 7 minutes. I have call planning straight in 07.
1, we're ready to go. Traffic on break.
Roger, traffic Cessna 72 on base.
Okay, and because it's air radio here means it's kind of a semi-uncontrolled airport, so you put your request in and then they talk to Edmonton Center and then they come back and they will give you your IFR clearance. So in the meantime, we're going to do a before takeoff checklist down the line, please.
156 McMurray clearance.
Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead, sir. ATC clears WestJet 156 to Calgary International Airport. Fly 4 McMurray direct on flight plan route. Maintain flight level 280. Start runway 07, climb at runway heading to 10,000 before proceeding on course. Squawk 5252.
Okay, down to Calgary and McMurray, direct to Toron, maintain 280 on 07, runway heading 10,000 before on course, 5252 on squawk for WestJet 156.
WestJet 156, just confirm the routing is for McMurray direct Toron, flight plan routing.
Fort McMurray, direct Toron, flight plan for 156.
WestJet 156, read back is correct.
Great, thank you.
Okay, and you got all that? Yeah, and McMurray direct to Toron.
Holding short with the caravan. 00 Delta, roger, active runway 07 on 22965. Orbit 35, how long to you ready to taxi?
Your thrust levers, your brakes. It's landing you up. All set? All set when you have control.
There's a vehicle doing a flight check on Bravo. Say again for 35.
Press set.
Road 35, there's a vehicle on Bravo doing a flight check.
Okay, yeah, we clear from here. We'll wait till they're done, then we'll position at departing 07.
Zulu Delta.
D1.
Traffic to vehicle on Bravo doing a flight check. Are you able to use Charlie? That's affirmative for Zulu Delta. And Zulu Delta, taxi position 07. Zulu Delta, roger.
Check, Command B. Check.
And McMurray radio, WestJet 156, we're in climb through 5,000. You want to stay with you or flip to center?
Over to center now, frequency 135.7.
Okay, thanks. You have a good day too. Talk to you later.
Saturday, copy the read back from 99.
499, affirmative.
Edmonton Center, good day. It's WestJet 156 with you on the climb through 6200 for 280 runway heading.
WestJet 156, Edmonton Center, vectors due traffic, fly heading 170.
Heading at 170 on the vectors now, WestJet 156.
Go ahead.
Roar 99 would like to cancel our IFR and proceed company note.
Roar 99, check canceling IFR, contact Fort McMurray radio now, 118.1.
118.1 for Fort McMurray, Roar 99, thanks.
Sabre 181, roger.
You smoke out your side somewhere around 1 o'clock. I think that's where the tankers were going.
WestJet 156, fly heading 210. WestJet 156, affirmative.
156.
Heading 210.
210 to intercept the on course.
Schneck 274, maintain flight.
Edmonton Center, good day. It's WestJet 156 with you on the climb through 216 280 direct Toron.
WestJet 156, maintain flight level 380.
Flight level 380 now, WestJet 156.
And we'll do lap 30, auto brake 1.
Auto brake 1, flaps 30 set.
All right, you ready for briefing?
Okay, go ahead.
It'll be the Athlo 5 arrival. 10-2A is the page, effective 22nd of December. It'll be Athlo at or below 12,000, and to Whiskey, Calgary VOR, and down to Barrie, which is our downwind termination waypoint, 7,500 feet or above and maximum 200 knots. And if we don't receive the approach clearance by then, we'll fly the heading at 163. Then get vectors for the ILS onto runway 34. 11-4 is the page number, effective the 13th of April 06. 111.5 we got set up twice. Inbound course is 343. Across Bovex at 4820 on the glide slope down to our ILS decision altitude is 3743. Airport elevation is 3557. Missed approach will climb to 5200 and track at 343 to the SARC NDB. And for noise abatement procedures, intercept final approach at or above 4,800 feet and priority NDB or FAF for the runway in use. And use delayed gear and flap extension low power drag configuration consistent with operating procedures and safety. Any questions?
No questions, no comments, and looking at bingo fuel of 33, 32, 6,500, I guess, for Edmonton. Yeah, 65.
Or what gate does it say we're there?
And they're saying gate 45. Oh, no, 48. 48. I'll get that confirmed. Sunshine. Actually, today's song has been changed to Well, I love the rainy night, love the rainy night, love to hear the sound of the rain. Oh, it is dampish in Calgary. Still continuing dampish for the rest of the afternoon, continuing wettish right throughout the evening until tomorrow, and then intermittent waterish for tomorrow, and by tomorrow afternoon maybe a little bit of sun. And hopefully by Saturday it'll start to look like Fort McMurray. In the meantime though, we will be starting the descent here shortly, and looking out the window looks like it's going to be a little bumpy, folks. Temperature is 14 degrees. It's picked up. It's 8 miles now in light rain in Calgary, overcast 2,000 feet. But we're getting into Thunderstorm Alley here, and it will be a little choppy on the descent. So probably anticipate the seatbelt sign coming on in about 5 minutes. If you do have to freshen up, now might be a good time to do so. Other than that, should be into the gate 5 to 10 minutes early, depending on traffic in Calgary. Once again, thanks for joining us. Talk to you in a little bit.
Back with you.
We've had so much rain here last week. The air's really, there's a lot of humidity in it. And they do like to build up right through this area. I don't know what it is, but they do call this Thunderstorm Alley here. On engine Andy, guys?
Yes, please.
Okay. 270, 260.
Check 270 for 260.
WestJet 156, just coming up.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard the captain. The seatbelt sign is now on. We ask that you are in your seat with your seatbelt securely fastened. Refrain from moving about the cabin and using the washroom at this time. As we have started our final descent into the Calgary area, we ask once again your cooperation in ensuring your seat back and table trays are returned to their full upright and locked position. Any of those carry-on goodies you took out during the flight have again been safely restowed.
Check.
And as
215,
the flight
12,000.
attendants will be making their way through the cabin one last time to
Well, I
collect
guess
any garbage or
12,250
unwanted
we
service
check.
items. So we just ask as a
Things are
courtesy
slowing
to
up.
the next guest that's going to occupy
That's what happens
that
with
seat.
the,
If you can just check that
you get a lot of
seat
this
in front of you and pull out
more
the
so in the
garbage you might
winter
have stashed there.
when the King Airs and the smaller aircraft come out of the oil patch up north with the all the rig hands, and they're doing crew changes. The mix between the high speed and the low speed doesn't allow us to fly the aircraft as efficiently as it could fly if there was nobody in front of you. So we're back 250 knots now and down 12,000 feet into Calgary. That's those cells that you just took the picture of. There's kind of a line of showing up over here on the left-hand side, and we're coming on the back side. There's one right up here at 1130, and we'll move that to a 40-mile range. There, so they're 35 miles off the left-hand side. This one will just come down the backside. Go back to the 80-mile range. And not really much between us and the airport. It looks like most of it's moved off to the east there.
WestJet 156 is clear of the weather, back to Jazz 8439, checking in 160, deviating south.
Jazz 8439.
Okay, engine anti-ice coming off.
Leave 16 now for traffic, altimeter 2960.
Thanks.
Yeah, 2960.
And normally, you know, our weather flows west to east here. And
Delta,
it's 11,000, 10,000.
Check 11,000 for 10,000.
So really strange that we're getting this easterly flow, and the build-up's coming this way.
I'd like to go on heading 270 for about 5 miles, if it's okay.
Okay, 270, maintain 1,000.
156 is coming up to 8,000, and we have the vectors for the island now.
156, affirmative.
Excellent, bring your hands, great.
Turn left 250 for spacing, and clear
And execute that one.
That's heading 250.
Okay, and there's Bovix,
5,800 for miles.
and there's the intercept track there. And we're radar vectors all the way around to that. As you can see, there's 1, 2, 3
Afternoon,
in front of us here.
Coming up 200, 14,000, speed 250.
Jazz 8380, turn left 070.
Left turn 070.
Starting to break up down there, though. That's good.
168, cleared 2000, runway 34.
Yeah, but look at that one over by Handa.
12,000 on 2960, we check 34, WestJet 168.
Roger. WestJet 168, turn right 160, cleared 6000.
Right to 160, down to 6,000, WestJet 168.
Roger.
Check.
WestJet 156, speed 160 at Bovix, contact tower now 1184. You may see company converging off to your left. He's heading for a downwind east of the airport to stop 1,000 feet above you.
Check the remarks, 160 at Bovix, on tower now, WestJet 156, thanks.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Low tower, it's WestJet 156 with you, showing 8 back to Bovix, 160.
WestJet 156, kitty number 3, runway 34, 2960.
2960, 156.
Tower Palace for 3.3 minute back.
Let's go flaps 5.
321, taxi 2 station, threshold of 34, be ready to go.
We'll be ready, and into position on 34, kind of 221.
Speed 180.
Flaps 5 and 180, check.
Hawk 970 left on 25, thanks for the help, 121 on a rough.
970.
The 221 notally around the corner, company traffic's 3 back, call departure in the air, wind is 320 at 15 knots, clear for takeoff runway 34.
Let's take off Air Canada 221.
Check 160 for Bovix.
Kitty 4, 320 at 15 knots.
Air Canada 187, clear to land on 34, and you want us at Charlie 4.
Roger.
Here now.
That's Tower Jazz 8439 with you, 9 back from Bovix.
Flaps 15, speed 160, landing checklist to the flaps.
Reduced to 160 knots now if you're not there already. 320 at 15 knots, altimeter to under 60.
Okay,
Okay, the engine start switches are continuous recalls, check speed brake.
Arm.
Ready to exit.
Plan Charlie 2, 156.
Alright, just past uniform.
Yep.
And tower from Air Canada 221, On the takeoff roll, we know at about 2,000 or 3,000 feet down the runway, there was a piece of tar coming off the runway.
Target.
Okay, and there's Bovix at 4820. Altimeters instruments checked.
Check.
And flaps.
30 green light.
Landing checklist is complete. Runway's visual, 12 o'clock.
Check inside.
To get off to exit at Charlie 2, hold short of Charlie and contact runway 1219.
Charlie 2, hold short of Charlie, Air Canada 187.
Land now 34, bases at 4,500 for WestJet to 156.
Thank you.
And I'm not sure we did complete the landing checklist.
We did. Flaps 30, you said.
Green light? Okay.
And green light. Landing checklist is complete. Cleared to land, Charlie 2. And that was 1,000 feet, sorry.
Check set, Mr. Approach altitude.
472 heavy's ready for takeoff,
5,200 feet set.
472 heavy, roger, hold short.
Hold short, runway 34.
Okay, autopilot disengage.
Check. 500 feet.
Check.
Above.
Check.
Decide runway 12 o'clock.
Landing.
Check.
So 472 heavy, taxi.
100.
Short of 34.
Clear to position hold.
Check.
Zoom 472.
50. 30. 20. 10.
WestJet 255, push back gate 47, your discretion. Back your discretion, WestJet 255.
Well, prairie lights are burning bright, Chinook wind is moving in. Now's the time that we're Alberta bound. That's it.
WestJet 515, contact departure 119.8 airborne, wind 33022, gusting 30, clear for takeoff, runway 34.
Clear for takeoff 34 and departure 19.8 airborne, WestJet 515, good day.
Okay.
You have control? I have control. Someone there? Seat thrust. Thrust set.
Quick Air 479, wind 320 at 23, clear to land, runway 34.
Clear to land 34 for Quick Air 479.
V1.
Charger 193, with you holding short 34.
Caribou 193, roger, wait, landing traffic.
193.
On the brake, gear up.
Charger, good afternoon, WestJet 411, what's ready to 28?
WestJet 411 tower, taxi position, threshold runway 28, just be short delay for IFR traffic off 34, and you'll be number 2 to go at least following 1900 off 34.
Okay, we'll check that, WestJet 411 next.
Line thrust.
flight level 250.
Flight level 250, WestJet 515.
250.
WestJet 515, turn left heading 250.
Heading 250, WestJet 5.
10,000. Check.
Departure, afternoon, Caribou 193 with you through 4.8.
Caribou 193, Calgary, radar identified. Maintain 16,000.
Maintain 16,000, Caribou 193.
Red spray. Execute. Down now. Down now.
Vancouver Center, today WestJet 515 is with you at 360.
WestJet 515, Vancouver Center, today, Comox information, Lima.
We have information, Lima, WestJet 515.
Hey, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I'll give you a brief there, Kelly. What the ATIS there looks like, well, let's go flap 30 auto brake 2, yeah.
Okay, flap 30 auto brake 2.
Alright, with the latest weather for Comox there, I'll plan a visual approach backed up by the ILS, runway 12, Comox, and that's 24th of March 06, 11-1 the page. We're currently direct the airport. I'm anticipating radar vectors to the visual and to 12. Airport elevation is 84 feet. And in the event of a missed approach, I'll climb to 1,100 feet on a track of 116. And we'll coordinate with ATC vectors back ground. And if we have got anything different from him, we'll do the climbing left turn back to Comox NDB, maintain 2,500 feet. Note 3 here, it says aircraft may encounter wind shear and turbulence in all weather conditions between 6 and 400 feet on approach, so the winds aren't that strong, but there is some wind there in the southeast, so we'll just be cognizant of that. No noise abatement that I can think of, and I'm planning flap 30 auto brake 2, exiting right most conveniently, either Charlie or followed by Bravo, and we'll taxi in from there to the apron. The APU is already running, so I don't need to start that on the ground. And safe for 25 miles of the Comox beacon with the mountains there, 6,200 feet. And that's about it. Any questions, anything like to add, Kelly?
Nope, it looks pretty good to me.
Alright, 30 and 14 decimal 19. And we can do it 4,000 still. And now it's 7. Engine on, please. NDA's on. Thank you. Check 8,000 for 7,000.
WestJet 515, cleared 6,000.
6,000, WestJet 515. 6,000.
Base 347, no traffic, switch Campbell now, 220.
220, 349, yeah.
And then to go on, pretty low Friday. 7,000 to 6,000. 7,000. Yeah, I had a hell of a time finding the airport when I found the Comox. Just about it.
WestJet 515, cleared 5,000.
5,000, WestJet 515.
5,000. If you decide you want me to call the airport, fine, just let me know. Okay.
And what are the winds in the field right now?
Current winds 120, 15, gusting 20.
Okay, thanks.
WestJet 515, 11 north, switch tower 26-2.
26-2, WestJet 515, we'll talk in a little bit. Common Tower, today WestJet 515 is with you. We've been cleared for the visual runway 12.
WestJet 515, Common Roger, the altimeter 29907, call left face runway 12.
Play left face 12, WestJet 515.
Let's go with flaps 1, speed 220. Check. Mind if I hand fly from this point? No problem. Okay. Autopilot disengaged. Check. Gear down, set speed. Flaps 15, set speed. Landing checklist 2 flaps. Start continuous recall check, speed brake. Arm, green light. Landing gear. Down, 3 green. Forward, flaps. Go flat 30. Set target. Forward set. Wait, landing checklist. Flaps. 30, green light. Landing checklist. Check.
That was Jet 515, just come up to the beacon and we have 3 green.
WestJet 515, roger, final wind 120 at 15, both cables are up.
Jet 515.
Aircraft correct, Quebec X-ray Alpha, Comox, altimeter 29906.
29906, Quebec X-ray Alpha. Currently at 1,500 feet, 2 miles to the south of Sandy Isle. We're requesting permission to overfly your zone some photographs around the Kin Beach area.
Quebec X-ray Alpha, are you intending to get there via the shoreline?
I'll do whatever is convenient for you. I'd go over land if that works for you.
Roger, you're cleared from present position to Cape Lazo, and then you can follow around Tai Bay 50. And Kin Beach that way.
30.
As far as you need to go,
20.
let me know when you need to turn around.
10.
Roger, Comox, we'll head for Cape Lazo.
At 13 by Roger.
Thrust set. Check.
1.
Rotate.
Snake 912, clear the practice auto rotation, runway 12, both cables are up, wind 12012, gusting 17, we'll check gear.
912, we have 3 down lock for the auto rotation, 12.
Check.
And
Up. Check.
Comox departure, WestJet 178, 1000, coming up 400 feet, or 15,000 off runway 12.
WestJet 178, Comox, ready to identify the departure altimeter is 2996, cleared left turn, direct lit in your discretion.
Okay, we cleared the left turn, direct lit in our discretion, 2996, WestJet 178.
Okay, flaps up. Yeah, I guess what I'll get you to do is set course to lit. Whatever gives us there, turn direct lit. Just the intercept course.
Oh, you want to
Oh, did he want the direct lit?
Yeah, he said direct lit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and set direct lit. Okay. What's that?
Turn direct lit.
Thanks, Dave. Now that. Yes. Well, actually, on this way.
To contact Vancouver 133.5.
33.5,
09, good day.
Facts, everybody.
Kilo Sierra Charlie, cross Mulvix at 160 knots, contact tower now 1184.
410 to join, cleared straight in 34 approach, WestJet 502.
Richard.
10,000 feet, 10,000 for 9,000. And for 9, and check 10,000 for cycle checks. ATIs is off. Air conditioning and pressurization.
Glacier 7246, vector sequencing, turn left 260 and maintain 7,000.
Left 260 down to 7,000, Glacier 7246.
Flightcraft 576, cleared 8,000.
8,000, Flightcraft 576.
Richard. WestJet 178, cleared 7,000.
7,000, WestJet 178.
Richard.
7,000. Spencer set cross check and airspeed balance. Check and set. Auto brake 2. Cabin navigation complete. Design approach check is complete. Thank you.
Number 2, runway 34 to the King Air 2 miles final.
Okay, we're told to slow to 150, and we're doing that. WestJet 178, number 2.
Gotcha. Chinook 281, Alpha 3, exit 1320 18, clear to land runway 34.
I'll
down. Left 15. Speed 150 for now. I think check this to the left.
Again.
Question 178, 1900 landing 28 will be through the intersection as you reach a half-mile final, clear to land runway 34, Charlie 2 exit.
Okay, check remarks. Cleared to land 34, Charlie 2 for us, WestJet 170.
Air Canada 167, number 2, runway 28, 1900, short final.
Air Canada 167. Calgary Tower, flight 576 on the ILS, runway 34, 160 knots.
Flight 576, Calgary Tower, number 2, runway 34, 737, 1 mile final.
Fantastic.
Canada 153 is 10 mile final for 28. Air Canada 153, Calgary Tower, number 2, runway 28, following Airbus 4 miles final.
Roger.
$100.
7246, right, Juliet 2, ground 121, decimal 9 off.
Juliet 2, ground
50.
Check.
30. 20. 10.
WestJet 178, Charlie 2, exit, contact ground 121, decimal 9 off.
WestJet 170.
60 knots.
Air 3020, gusting 26, clear to land, runway 28.
Still do 2 to the end there, Ken 167, clear to land.
Aircraft 576, Airbus landing runway 28 will be through the intersection as you reach a mile final, wind 320, gusting 26. Uniform is available as an exit clear.
Copy ground, WestJet 178, Charlie 2 for Delta 45. WestJet 178 ground, even taxi Charlie hold short runway 28. Charlie hold short 28, WestJet 178.
Hi, my name is Scott Mitchell. This is First Officer Dylan Boxell, and we're flying to Regina and back. This is one of WestJet's new 737-600 aircraft.
238 departure on the air, the wind 320 at 15, clear for takeoff, runway 34.
Gotta go runway 34, WestJet 238.
Gotta go.
Airsprint 34, position threshold 34.
Jet set.
Position hold runway 34, airsprint 234.
Knots.
Check.
V1.
V1.
Rotate. Positive rate. 0. Heading 7.
Command
Check. Departure good day, WestJet to the tree and wind 2 passing 4,600 plus 7,000.
WestJet 238, copy, ready to 5, turn right, heading 090, maintain flight level 250.
Right, heading 290 and maintain second A altitude.
Well, to start with the heading is wrong, heading 090 and maintain flight level 250.
Okay, heading 090 and up to 250, WestJet to the tree.
090-250.
250.
Flaps up.
Skywest 3921, turn left direct due walk.
Left direct due walk, Skywest 3921. Flaps up, no line.
Flat thrust level change.
Time thrust level change.
Takeoff checklist, please.
250 to start with for traffic.
We'll maintain 250 for traffic. 10,000 feet.
Check.
3921, speed 310 knots or better.
10 bumps. 310 or better.
Center bumps on.
10 bumps.
Clear direct spray, direct to boost, flight plan. Direct spray, direct.
Camry.
Log 1 arrival 10-2B, 21st of April 06. You've already verified waypoints and altitudes. Got CHEPs 4,000 or above. Transition to the ILS onto runway 13, 11-1, effective the 20th of January 05. Localizer 1095 once and twice. Alex Beacon 219. Final approach course 127 once and twice. By the Alex 3120 down to a decision of 2094 once and twice. Touchdown elevation 1894. In the event of a missed, we'll do as published, which does climb to 4,000 and track 127. And proceed to the Regina NDB. Flaps 30, auto brake 2, and we will exit at the end. Any questions?
No questions.
There is no noise for Regina.
No question.
WestJet 23 is requesting descent.
WestJet 238, clear to maintain, flight level 290.
Correct, flight level 290, WestJet 23 is leaving 390.
90 check.
Winnipeg Center, good morning to Air Canada's 118, flight level 350, direct Lumsden.
Channel 118, Winnipeg Center, good day, radar identified.
Hey, ride reports eastbound. WestJet 238, Regina Terminal, continue direct checks, maintain 4000, Regina altimeter 2966.
Direct checks, maintain 4,296, WestJet 23.
4,000.
4,000.
Very quick.
And the ice is on, air conditioner pressurization is set. Altimeters set and cross-check. N1 and S speed bugs are checked and set. Auto brake set 2. Cabin notification is complete. Descent approach checklist is complete.
Thank you. And engine anti-ice off, please.
WestJet 238, tower number 1, runway 13, altimeter 2966.
2966, number 1, WestJet 23.
Charlie Bravo, Charlie ground. Contact, correction tower. Contact ground now on 121.9.
Contact ground, Charlie Bravo, Charlie.
Flaps 1.
We have the traffic, Victor Zulu Victor. Victor Zulu Victor, tower number 2, follow the 737, use caution, wait till that's behind him. Victor Zulu Victor.
Flaps 30.
Flap 30.
Target, complete landing checklist.
Flaps.
30, green light.
Landing checklist completed. Zulu Romeo Sierra 3120, altimeters and instruments cross-check.
Check.
WestJet 238, tower wind 160 at 12, clear to land runway 13.
Clear land runway 13, WestJet 23.
Check clear land. Check.
Above.
Check.
Hundred. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Contact ground on 121.9 when you're off the runway. A short 180 back.
Left on kilo and 121.9 went off the runway.
8 knots.
Check.
V1.
V1.
Rotate.
Heading select.
Heading select.
Command B.
Check.
Bug up.
Check. Departure today, WestJet 239's with you, 330-300 for 5,000.
L nav.
Check.
V nav.
Check. Transition set 2992.
2992 set.
Belts off.
121.9 on Alpha. Ground 21.9 on Alpha, lower right 911. November 203, November Charlie, contact departure, 198 airborne. No delay rolling, please. Clear takeoff runway 34.
We're on a roll, clear to go 34, 3 November Charlie.
Thank you.
Runway in sight. VFR calls.
Different.
Light slips live.
WestJet 188, Planet Charlie 2 exit, wind is 330 at 10.
Flaps.
Heading green light.
Line check is complete. Waiting to land clearance.
WestJet 188 on Charlie 2, contact ground 121.9, hold short of 28. B3.
1,000 feet.
Check set miss approach altitude.
5,700 set.
Check.
Tower, sir, Canada 569 with you. We're just outside Ovic.
Canada 569, number 134, wind 320 at 8, altimeter's 2978.
2978.
Set your target.
Check.
WestJet 239, clear to land, runway 28, wind 320 at 8, and company just reported a little bit slippery making a turn there on Juliet 2.
Land 28, check the marks. WestJet 239.
Canada 569, the 737 landing 28 will be through the intersection when you're on short final. Planet Charlie 2 exit, 330
Autopilot disconnect.
clear to land 34.
100.
Traffic, Charlie 2, we're
Airbus landing 3.
10.
Position 2 Eagle is here, 7210.
Tower Broken Motel with you, 4.5, landing West.
Bravo November Hotel, just proceed to exit, flight runway 25, maintain 1,500, wind 330 at 8, altimeter's 269.
60 knots. disarm. I have control.
Calgary Tower, Canada 185 is 2.5 back from Bovic 34. Canada 185, your number 2, you're following Airbus traffic by 4 miles with 330 at the altimeter 2978. And set up for a Charlie 2 exit. Charlie 2, Air Canada 185.
Or should you want it off?
Oh, I said just leave it off.